Yes, sir.
Okay, it is very good. So before going to enter into this subject, you should have the knowledge of basic electrical circuits, that is KCL, KVL, Ohm's law, then all different types of electrical machines, like for example transformers and generators, right? So these basic things you should have it before going to study this single phase or three phase transformers of module 1. Okay, now don't worry about these things, these are just for our reference. So whatever the syllabus I told to you in the beginning, so that syllabus is here. Operation of practical transformers means module single phase transformer and three phase transformer. So from this end to this end, this is the syllabus for your single phase transformer, that is operation of practical transformer under no load and on load with phasor diagrams, followed by that open circuit and short circuit tests, calculation of equivalent circuit parameters, and predetermination of efficiency. Then commercial and all day efficiency, voltage regulation and its significance. So whole thing, this is nothing but your single phase transformer syllabus. Then comes your three phase transformer, right? So again in the three phase transformer, you are going to have syllabus called as introduction to three phase transformers, constructional features of three phase transformers, choice between single unit three phase transformer and a bank of three single phase transformers, transformer connection for three phase operation. Then comes different connections, that is star star, delta delta, star delta, zigzag star, and VV connection. So all these are the different connections of your three phase transformer, right? Then comes comparative features. So when we are having these many different connections with the three phase transformer, then for what purpose they are going to use, how to make the comparison between star star and delta delta, means in voltage level or in application level. So in that perspective, you need to study the comparison comparative features. Okay. Then comes phase conversion. Means already we are having star star, delta delta, star delta. Apart from that, you need to convert a three phase supply to two phase supply. So in that case, we are going to study for another different special type of connection, which we call it as spot connection. So this spot connection, what it will do? It will convert three phase power supply into two single phase power supply. Okay, fine. Then comes labeling of three phase transformer terminals. Labeling means the manufacturer of transformer. So in the company, after manufacturing the transformer, they are going to hand over data sheet. Yes or no? Whenever you purchase any of the electrical machinery or some electrical gadget of high cost, they are going to use some set of rules. So those set of rules or operating conditions, we call it usually as data sheet. So if you are purchasing some transformer, then in that data sheet of transformer, they are given with some labeling. Labeling means if primary connections are there. So what type of labeling you should do, how you have to name it. Capital letter for primary side, small letter for secondary side. So all those kind of labeling you are going to study in labeling of three phase transformer. Then finally it comes vector groups. Vector groups means there is a clock diagram. So that clock diagram will tell you how you are going to represent the vector groups for different transformer connections. Okay, so this whole part, whatever I have highlighted over here, so this is the syllabus of your, what is that, single phase as well as three phase transformer. Okay, fine. So today what I will do, I will just recall all the basic things whatever you have studied in your basic electrical engineering transformers subject. Okay, now, so module 1, that is single phase transformer. So this circuit diagram, it is very well known to you. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Have you
Yes, sir.
this
Yes,
this
sir.
circuit
Yes,
diagram
sir.
already have studied? Okay, very good.
Yes, sir.
So this is your what is core type of single phase transformer. So this vertical section or vertical portion, whatever you are seeing, this we call it as limb, and this horizontal portion, whatever we are seeing, this we call it as yoke, right? So this green color linings, whatever you are observing here, this is my primary winding. Similarly, this red color windings, whatever we are going to observe here, this is secondary side of the windings. And make sure that this primary winding, which is wound on one side of the limb or one leg of the transformer, and the other leg of the transformer or limb of the transformer, you are having another conducting wire. So both these are electrically separated, because this secondary winding, it is separated from primary winding. But see that what is the common path here? The common path between primary and secondary winding is this iron core. Yes or no? So this iron core is the common element that is present in between primary and secondary winding. So this iron part, it is going to provide magnetic link. That magnetic link we call it as flux. So this flux, what it will do, whenever we excite, whenever we connect the primary winding to some power supply, then primary current will start to flow. Then this primary current, what it will do, it will generate or it will induce its own flux pi. And now this flux pi, it will start to travel from this end, and then it links with the secondary winding also. It is going to link with the secondary winding also. Because of that, you can find that complete magnetic circuit or complete magnetic path is present here. So because of the complete magnetic path is present, then because of electromagnetic mutual induction, here you can see that current will start to flow in the secondary winding, because EMF will be induced in the secondary winding, and that EMF for the voltage, it will give its own current. That current which is linked with the secondary winding, it is called as secondary current. And now if on the secondary side, if you connect any of the load, that is resistive load or inductive load or capacitive load, then secondary current will start to flow through this load. Okay, so this is your basic principle of operation. So now, after explaining all the things over here, now I just want to ask you that here, what is the working principle of your single phase transformer? Yes, can anyone? What is the working principle of single phase transformer?
Sir, mutual induction.
Very good. Why we call this that as mutual induction?
Because it induces self current.
Because it is going to induce the
Self current.
self current. So here, is there any electrical circuit present in between the two windings?
No, sir.
There is
No,
no
sir.
there is no electrical connection. Complete, there is isolation between primary and secondary winding. But instead of electrical
Yes,
connection,
sir.
you are going to have magnetic path. That magnetic path is nothing but the flux. Okay, so that flux, it is common for both primary winding as well as secondary winding. So whenever flux is present and whenever flux is linking to both the primary as well as secondary winding, then EMF will be induced because of mutual induction. EMF is simply nothing but a driving force. Driving force means that will push the electrons to flow through the secondary winding. So if electrons are pushed to flow through the secondary winding, then that is nothing but flow of electrons is nothing but what? Yes, flow of
Electricity.
electric current. That is nothing but electrical current. So that electrical current is nothing but the secondary current, and that secondary current, now it is connected and it is made to flow through the load. That load might be anything, where it might be resistive load or inductive load or capacitive load. Okay, fine. So your single phase transformer, it is going to work on the principle of mutual induction. So there is no any electrical connectivity between primary and secondary winding. There is only magnetic coupling. Magnetic coupling means flux is there. So to get that flux, the thing, your core part, it is made up of some iron material. So to get the flux, the core part is made up of some iron material. So this is the working principle of your single phase transformer, and in a real time, how your transformer it is going to look like. So this is your what is that transformer. So here, whatever this limb portion or leg portion is there, so this is the leg portion. On the other side, there is a another leg portion, right? So this might be your primary winding and this might be your secondary winding, right? Input, this will be your output. Output means here it is connected to the load. Load might be RL or C. Okay, fine, right? Now this core, it is made up of some thin copper stampings, thin plate copper stampings, and all those copper stampings, they are stacked together. They are stacked together to give this rectangular portion, to give this rectangular slab like portion. And onto this rectangular slab like portion, we are going to couple primary winding as well as secondary winding. Okay, fine. So now the winding which is going to receive the winding which is going to receive the, let me check, because still I'm finding there are many of the stones they are getting connected. Yes, can you see this image, PPT image?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now the winding which is going to receive the input supply, that is input electrical supply, to that winding we call it as primary winding. Always remember, the winding which receives excitation or input electrical supply, that winding we call it as primary winding. And the winding which is connected to the load, that winding we call it as, yes, which winding? Secondary winding.
Secondary winding.
Very good. So that is called as secondary winding. And always your single phase transformer, it is going to work on the principle called as mutual induction. So for having the mutual induction, you always there should be what AC supply, right? Because the definition of transformer is what? What is the definition of transformer? Can you apply DC supply to this transformer? Here the symbol you can observe here. What is the symbol
No,
here?
sir.
No, sir.
What is the symbol?
AC.
AC, yes or no?
AC.
This is sinusoidal symbol.
AC current, AC source.
This is sinusoidal
Yes,
symbol
sir.
where you are having this is upper half of the positive half cycle, this lower half of the negative half cycle. So it is nothing but your sinusoidal signal. Wait for some time. Hello? Yes. Yes, what is your... Sorry for the interruption. So where I was discussing about, can you apply DC supply source to the primary winding?
No,
So
no, sir.
No, sir.
why no? Why no?
Because the principle is mutual induction, and it works on the electromagnetic induction principle. So we can't. It should be varying electric field. Then only we can produce the flux.
Okay, very good. So to get the flux, you should have alternating. You should have alternating quantity. Alternating quantity means current applied should be alternating source, right? So for that sake, here, what we have to do? We have to apply AC plus. We have to apply what? AC source. Okay, fine. So now here what happens is, If we apply DC source, then your DC is having what? Constant, what is that, magnitude, right? It is not going to have any alternating frequency. Means frequency will be zero there. So for DC signal or DC input source, frequency will be zero. So if you apply such input to the transformer, then there will be no mutual induction. If there is no mutual induction, then there is no flux. If there is no flux, then there is no flow of the current from primary to the secondary. So for that sake, always we should give input as AC supply. Always we should give put as AC supply. Are you getting why we should give AC supply as an input to the transformer? Yes, do you have any doubts? Can you hear my voice, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
So
sir.
So I hope you understood the concept why we should use AC supply for transformer input primary winding. Yes. If we give DC supply, then frequency for the DC source is zero. If frequency is zero, then there is no mutual induction. If there is no mutual induction, then there is no flow of electricity from primary to secondary source. Right? What the DC source it may do? It may cause overheating of the overheating because of the losses. Then transformer may burn if you give DC supply. So always for the safe economical operation or safe operation of the transformer, we should use AC supply. Fine. Now, so this is your three-phase transformer, right? Now let us see the working principle here. Transformer works on the principle of mutual induction. Some of you have answered that transformer works on the mutual induction. Okay, so what is that mutual induction? Let us see here. It transfers an electric energy from one circuit to other. From one circuit means what? From primary to the other when there is no electrical connection between the two circuits. So if you take your previous slide, so from one circuit to other circuit. So this is my one circuit and this is my another circuit. So from this circuit to this circuit, if I want to transfer the energy without having any electrical connection, here it is made up of iron core part. Iron core part means flux will be there, but no electrical connection. Remember, there is no electrical connection, but there is a magnetic linking. So that magnetic linking is nothing but the flux. Okay, fine. But there is no electrical connection between the two circuits. Thus, we can define transformer as below. So let us see what is the definition for transformer here. The transformer is a static piece of apparatus by means of which an electrical power is transferred from one alternating current circuit to another with the desired change in voltage and current without any change in the frequency. So many times when you appear for the electrical machines laboratory viva, the first question what they put in front of you is define transformer, right? Then your answer should be what? The transformer is a static piece of device or apparatus. Why it is static? Can anybody? Why transformer is called as a static piece?
Sir, there is no rotor part is present.
Very good. There is no rotor part because both primary winding as well as secondary winding, they are stationary. They are static. There is no any moving parts. Because of that, we say that transformer is a static piece of device by means of which electrical power is transferred from one alternating circuit. One alternating circuit means that might be your primary winding to the other. Other means secondary side. But what is our requirement? With the desired change in voltage and current, because the main work of the transformer is what? To change the levels of voltage as well as current. So as per the requirement of the user, whatever the required voltage or whatever the required current will be there, as per that it is going to change the voltage or current values. But while changing the current or voltage values from primary to secondary circuit, the condition given is what? Here you can see without any change in the frequency. Frequency should not change. Frequency should remain constant. Suppose this is my transformer. If you take, this is my primary winding and this is my secondary winding, right? So whenever we are transferring the energy from primary to the secondary, the condition what we have to satisfy is that frequency constraint should be maintained constant. Frequency should not change. Okay, so this is one typical example of transformer which is used for transmission. Use of transformer in transmission system. So here transformer whatever we have used, this is a three-phase transformer. Remember, it is a three-phase transformer, right? Why not single-phase transformer? Can anybody? Can you use single-phase transformer in transmission system? What do you mean by transmission?
Transmission is from one place
Electricity
to another.
from
Suppose you are having Almaty power station. From Almaty generating power station, after generating the power, if you want to receive the same power from Almaty to Bijapur, then what you have to do? Whatever power you are generating from Almaty power station, can you use the same power to Bijapur?
we use
No. There should be some signal conditioning in between, yes or no? So that conditioning and everything will be taken care by your transformer, right? Are you getting? So suppose this generating station, if you treat this as KPCL Almaty Hydel power station, then comes what? After generating the power with the help of generator, this G stands for generator. This generator, it will give output as electrical quantity. So that electrical quantity we are injecting to the primary winding of the transformer. So this primary winding, whether it might be step up transformer or step down transformer, but here usually for generation side, at the generation side we are using step up transformer. Step up transformer. So what it will do, it will increase the voltage level from primary to secondary. From primary to secondary, it is going to increase the voltage level, and then the same voltage you are going to transmit it into the take for example, this is your Almaty and this is your Bijapur city. So from Almaty to Bijapur city, if I want to get the electric power supply, then in between I should make use of transformers followed by transmission lines. Then once power you are getting for the Bijapur city, the same voltage you cannot use it, yes or no, because that voltage is very high. So that high voltage, once again you have to step it down. So for stepping down the voltage, we are going to step down transformer. So this step down transformer, what it will do, it will convert 440 kV to simply 11 kV. And now this 11 kV, once again it is distributed for some of the substations. So again in the substations, what they will do, further they are going to reduce the voltage levels, and then they are going to maintain some constant voltage for the okay sir. So for three phase it will be 440 kV, and for single phase it will be 230 kV. So usually we being the domestic consumers, what type of supply we are using for the household application?
230 kV.
230, huh? Yes,
230 kV.
kV.
Sorry, sir. 230 volt.
Very good.
Sorry,
So for
230
how?
volt.
So if it is 230 volts, means whether it is single phase or three phase?
Single.
Single phase. Very good.
Single phase.
So always remember, for our household application, single phase power supply is sufficient. Only for the industries or for some commercial applications like malls, colleges, where connected load is very high, there you are going to make use of three phase power supply. Yes. So always remember, for household application 230 volts is sufficient. So 230 volts means single phase power supply is what is that? High voltage application like your industries or some flour mill or any of the what is that, production industries, their power requirement is high. So in that case you cannot make use, you cannot depend only on single phase power supply. There we should also make use of three phase power supply. So this is one of the typical example just to illustrate how your transformer is utilized in transmission system. Is it clear, all of you? This is just basics. Oops. Yes? Any one of you?
Yes, sir.
Just one more thing I just want to ask you. Do you feel my teaching is fast or is it okay? First only you should tell to me.
It's
Good.
okay, sir.
Hmm?
It's okay, sir.
Can you
Okay, sir.
cope up with the explanation?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine.
Ah,
Because
yeah, sir.
some of the students, they will tell at the end, sir, teaching is fast, sir, teaching is slow. For that say, first only I'm asking feedback from you. Are you getting the things clearly, whatever I'm explaining to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. No, very good. Don't worry, just today I'm going to brush up the basic things, whatever you have studied in basic electrical. Then comes principle of operation. Principle of operation means this is my primary side of the transformer, secondary side of the transformer, giving AC supply voltage, then getting power supply to the secondary side connected load. Right. So this is my input signal. Input signal is sinusoidal, and this is my output signal. Output signal means what? At the secondary side. This is input and this is output. At the secondary side also, we are going to receive same sinusoidal signal only. Right. Then comes, what is that? This is the representation. So this is input symbol. Then windings. This two double lines. What is the meaning of these two double lines in between primary and secondary winding?
Mutual induction, sir.
Hmm?
Magnetic
Mutual
flux.
induction.
That is magnetic connection. Magnetic connection means what? That is core. Core is present, which is common for both primary winding and secondary winding. Primary means N1, secondary means N2. Number of turns on the primary side. For primary, 2 stands for secondary. P means primary, S means secondary. Right. Then at the secondary side, we are going to connect the load over here. Okay. Then there are different types of the transformer. Already you have studied in the basic electrical. Yes or no? One is core type, another is shell type. Yes? Have you studied or not? Core type and shell type of transformer. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my core type of transformer where it is having only one single window. It is having only one single window and one magnetic circuit path. On one limb, we are having primary winding, and on the other limb, we are having secondary winding. And if you see cross-sectional view from the top side, this is how your single or core type of transformer it is going to look like. So all these are the thin iron plates which are stacked together, and all together it is going to give rectangular shape, which we call it as a core. And these are the primary winding and secondary winding. In between primary and secondary winding, you are having some insulation. That is, LV stands for low voltage. So LV stands for low voltage, and HV stands for high voltage. Okay, fine. So in real time, how this core type transformer will look like, you can see. This is your real time single phase core type of transformer, which is having only one single window. Single window means this rectangular empty portion. Okay. Similarly, then comes shell type of transformer. Shell type of transformer means you are given with three limbs, 1, 2, 3, and on the center limb you are going to own primary and secondary winding. Primary and secondary winding. And now you only tell me how many windows are there here? How
Two
many
windows.
windows are there?
Two
Here
windows.
it is characterized by two windows. This is window 1 and this is second window, and in between the two windows you are given with one central limb, and this central limb it is going to carry both primary as well as secondary winding. Means primary winding and secondary winding, they are sandwiched together. They are sandwiched together, and in real time how it is going to look like, you can see. So this is your real time single phase shell type of transformer, where primary as well as secondary winding, they are wound on the same common limb only. They are wound on the same common limb. Is it okay? Just you recall all the things whatever you have studied in basic electrical engineering transformer subject. Then comes what is the comparison between core type and shell type. This you can go through the things when I supply the notes for you. This is required just for your basic things. This is not for this is not there for your syllabus. Today whatever I'm dealing, just I am recalling all your basic concepts. Remember, so EMF equation. So when we give input, to the, what is that, primary winding, when we give input to the primary winding, then because of mutual induction, here you will be finding secondary EMF and secondary current. So what is the voltage that is induced? Either it might be primary side or it might be secondary side. So that voltage, how it is dependent on what factors? That voltage, it is dependent on what factors? That is nothing but your EMF equation or voltage equation. So this voltage equation you have already studied in your first semester basic electrical subject. Yes. Can anybody tell me what is the EMF equation of transformer? E1 and E2. E1 stands for voltage induced on the primary side. E1 means voltage induced on the primary side. E2 means voltage induced on the secondary side. Can anybody tell me what is the EMF equation of transformer? Single phase transformer.
d5 by dt, sir.
Yes.
d5 by dt.
EMF equation, that is rate of change of flux, but you are deriving the whole derivation, and at the end you will be getting one expression, right? So what is that expression for EMF equation of transformer? E1, what is this E1? Voltage induced on the primary side. So it is, can you see the thing clearly here, or is it visible or not?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
So E1 is equal to what? 4.44 F by M N1 volts. So your voltage on the primary winding, whatever you are developing, it is dependent on frequency, it is dependent on maximum flux, and it is dependent on number of turns. N1 stands for winding pertaining to the primary side. Similarly,
Primary side.
voltage induced on the secondary side, E2 is equal to 4.44 F by M N2. So at the secondary load side, voltage that is available is given by 4.44 F by M N2. So in both the things, 4.44 F by M is common for E1 and E2, but E1 is dependent on N2, whereas E2 secondary voltage is dependent on number of turns on the secondary winding. This is the only difference. Okay, so this equation you have to remember whenever you are solving the problems. And the same thing, this question they may ask in the Viva also. What is the EMF equation of transformer? Then you should say that E in general, E is equal to 4.444 F by M N. If you say this much, it is more than sufficient, because we are not saying whether it is pertaining to primary or secondary. In general, if E is equal to 4.44 F by M N, if you say this much, it is more than sufficient. Okay. Then different types of losses in transformer. So whenever we give input, my question is, whenever we give some input to the transformer, input is given for the, it is given at primary side, and output you are getting at secondary side. So whatever input we are giving to the transformer, can you get the same output at the secondary side?
No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Why?
Because losses are there, no, sir. That's why
Loss.
we will not get the same.
Losses are there, very good. So losses, what they will do, if losses are more, then automatically performance of the transformer decreases. So that performance we are measuring in terms of efficiency and voltage regulation, right? So for example, if you are given with some water pipe, right? So take one new water pipe, from one end, if you turn on the tap, and on the other side, if you are draining that water to some flower plants. So if pipe is continuously, and that too it is having no holes, anything, then you can say that water is moving completely without any leakage. Yes or no? If that pipe is having certain holes due to some wear and tear loss, then wherever holes will be there, their water will be lost. Then in that case, do you say that same amount of water what that is present at the tap side will reach to the flower plants?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, why? Because there will be leakage in the water. So that leakage is nothing but losses in the water pipe. Similarly, here in the case of transformer, there will be some losses will be there. So those losses will take place in windings as well as iron part. So whatever the losses, they will take place in the iron part or core part. Core is made up of magnetic material. So those losses we call it as core losses. So similarly, whatever the losses that will take place in the primary as well as secondary winding, those losses we call it as copper losses. Means winding which is made up of copper, and because of the losses it is taking place in the copper winding, it is called as copper loss. And the losses which will take place in the iron part. Iron part means core part. So those losses we call it as core loss. So altogether in your transformer there are two major types of losses. First loss is core loss or iron loss or constant loss. They are going to remain constant. But whereas your copper loss means losses which will take place in primary winding and secondary winding. They are called as copper loss because they are made up of copper winding. And that too, if I change the load, on the secondary side, current drawn by the winding will be changing. If current is going to alter, then automatically copper loss. What is the formula for the copper loss? Yes,
I square R, sir.
I square R.
I
So
square.
if current I means here I2 you can refer. So if I2 changes, automatically copper loss means I square R. So I square R will change. So I mean to say here is that if load changes, then current I2 drawn from the transformer will change. So that will change to your copper loss. So always remember the other name for copper loss is variable loss. Means that copper loss will be keeps on changing depending upon the type of the load you are connecting on the secondary side. But whereas if you take your iron or the core loss, they are called as constant loss. So constant means what? Whatever the load you may connect, irrespective of the loading condition, losses will be not changing. They are going to remain constant. So again in the iron loss, there are two types. The two different types of iron loss are, one is what is that? Hysteresis loss. Another is iron or core loss. So again in the iron and core loss, there are two types. One is hysteresis loss. Another is
Eddy current loss, sir.
eddy current loss. Right. So remember, there will be two types of iron loss. That is hysteresis loss given by the expression KHBM raised to 1.67 FV watts. Similarly, eddy current loss is given by the expression KEBM square F square T square. So these two losses are dependent on hysteresis constant, this is constant, Bm is also constant, then frequency F is constant, volume of the core is also constant. So altogether hysteresis loss is constant here. Yes or no? So if you check the expression, all these are constants. Similarly, eddy current loss, Ke Bm square F square T square. Ke is constant, Bm square is constant, F square is constant, T square is constant. So Ke means eddy current constant, Bm means magnetic flux density which is maximum, F stands for frequency, T stands for thickness. So altogether these are also once again constant only. So based on this perception, I can say that your iron loss, which is the sum of hysteresis loss and eddy current loss, they are called as constant loss because all these factors which is going to characterize your hysteresis loss or eddy current loss, all these are constants only. They are not going to change with respect to the loading condition. Because of that fact, we say that iron losses are constant loss. But whereas if you take your copper loss is given by I square R. I square R means whenever we change the load, then current drawn by the secondary side, I2 will change. Accordingly, I square R will change. That is, I2 square R2 will change. Because of that, copper loss another name is variable loss.
Variable loss.
Okay. So then comes efficiency of the transformer. So once you wait a minute, I will just start your class after 2 to 3 minutes. I'm getting one important call here. Wait for some time. Yes, sorry for the interruption. So this efficiency means it is the ratio of output by input. So whatever input we are giving to the transformer, we are not getting same quantity as output. The reason is very simple. Just now we have seen about losses, right? So if I want to calculate the efficiency of the transformer, yes, can you hear me, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is one of the important factor to describe the performance of the transformer, that in terms of efficiency, output by input. Output is given by NVA rating into cos pi divided by output plus losses. Always remember, output is not efficiency, nothing but output by input. So output is given by N. N stands for what amount of load you have connected. N, small n, percentage of loading condition. V stands for voltage, A stands for current, into operating power factor of the connected load, that is cos pi, divided by output plus total losses. Total loss is nothing but iron loss plus copper loss. So just to remember this formula, this formula is important while solving the numerical problems. Output divided by input. Output is NVA rating cos pi divided by input. Input is nothing but what? Output plus total losses. Total loss is nothing but Pi, iron loss, plus copper loss, that is N square PCUFL. Okay, just to remember this formula. Here, even this is also one of the basic portion for your syllabus. And when do we get maximum efficiency? So we can expect, we can get maximum efficiency whenever, what is the condition? Based on the losses. When do you get maximum efficiency? Efficiency is measured in terms of losses, yes or no? So during what condition you can say that transformer is delivering maximum efficiency? Can anybody? And iron loss is equal to copper loss. Yes, have you studied or not? Condition for maximum efficiency, when I to copper loss condition will be there, then this condition you are going to meet, that is eta max. Eta stands for efficiency and this is my maximum efficiency condition. So this condition I am going to reach provided your iron loss should be equal to copper loss. If iron loss is equal to copper loss, during that period of time I am going to attain to this peak point. Okay. So after deriving the condition, we are finally getting copper loss is equal to iron loss. This derivation already have discussed and studied in basic electrical subject, yes or no? Yes. This is not there for your syllabus, but thinking that you already studied this in your basic electrical subject. Have you studied this derivation or not, all of you?
Yes, sir.
That is what. Just I am recalling all the basics today. So to get the maximum efficiency, the condition is finally after deriving this output by input, if I differentiate the efficiency equation with respect to secondary current I2, keeping other parameters constant and equating to 0, then after solving whole thing, finally we are getting the condition Pi is equal to I2 square R2E. Pi is nothing but iron loss, I2 square R. I2 square means what? Copper loss. So whenever iron loss is equal to copper loss, then during that period of time we'll be getting maximum efficiency. So its maximum efficiency graphical representation is this one. So when we get I square R is equal to Pi, I2 square R, what is it? I2 square R2E, that is iron loss is equal to copper loss. During that period of time, transformer will give us maximum efficiency. Okay. And till here, all this is your basics part. Is it clear, all of you? Yes.
Yes, sir.
What I will do today is I am going to supply notes for you of TNG subject, just to go through the things. And again, salient features of ideal transformer. Again, this is also one of the basic concept only. Ideal transformer means what? How it should be. There should not be any losses. There should be no leakage in the flux. It should have 100% efficiency. So all these are your ideal transformer. But in real time, do you find ideal transformer? Is it possible to have ideal? No, because there will be some leakages, there will be some losses. Because of that, efficiency is not 100%. So before going to study the actual syllabus, we are just making the things how the ideal transformer it should be. What are its characteristics? Its characteristics are there should be no iron loss, there should be no leakage flux, there should be no copper loss. If these losses are zero, then automatically I can say efficiency is 100%. But it is not possible in real time. There will be a copper loss, there will be iron loss, there will be leakage in the flux. Due to all these things, your efficiency is not 100%. So how that ideal transformer is different from real time practical transformer, that thing we will discuss in the next class. Right. So whatever I have discussed today, this whole portion is your previous concepts only. Whatever you have studied in your basic electrical part. Just to go through the first year basic electrical transformer subject concept now. And your actual syllabus will begin from this part. Where is that? Okay. Your actual syllabus will start from here. Operation of practical transformer on no load. Your actual syllabus will begin from this portion. Okay. In the start of syllabus. This part we can start from next class onwards. Is it okay? Yes?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So whatever I have discussed today, is it okay? Do you have any doubts?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay, fine. So I request all the students to inform to your friends that TNG subject syllabus has been started and to be attentive during the online class. And if you have any doubts, you don't worry, you can feel free to ask for me. I will just supply the notes to you. Daily, whatever I'm discussing in the online class, you just go through that. It is more than sufficient. Okay. Now you can have your lunch. So now I'm going to end up the class. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.